Everyone knows every move on Inferno. Anubis, keep an eye on XANTARES because I think he's going to go pretty wild here.
Yes, that's actually very true. I think it'll be a great map for him. Excited for it, of course, though. We've got the overpass that comes up as that second map. Going to be the Sprout pick. Nothing too out of left field in terms of that one. What with Ancient, we would imagine, not included here. Yeah, the overpass comes in. Makes a lot of sense. And that obviously, we're going to have our fun over on Ancient as we get into it. And it's already just an absolute rush fest coming in from both sides, apparently. Major going to be the first one to fall. Staehr out in towards mid. Getting a lot of control. Looking for that A play. It's XFloud, though, on the USP. Just scrapping, fighting the Julies a bit more eventually. We'll finish off Zyphon. Goodness me, it has begun awfully quick here on Anubis. Refresh is somehow in behind. He missed the cavalry that was XFloud. Goodness gracious. Going to get a bomb plan at the very least, but got 2 more to find to pick up this 1 versus 3. Spotted out 1 and 2 probably there on streets. They're both pretty low. This is not out of the question for Refresh. He's got to drop 1 fast. That's the big thing. And I think that might just have been his opportunity. Slipping away from him, it will be Eternal Fire opening up with the pistol.
Looking good. Looking good. I mean, that was... I hope it continues to be that chaotic because that was just a mess. Everybody in mid and everyone over towards B just taking every single fight they could. And clearly Eternal Fire coming out a little bit ahead on that one. I'll apologise for us in advance to butchering all of the positional names that a lot of you guys might be used to hearing. I did ask a few pros for some of the spot names. And the problem is, Squiv, they've named every spot after a similar spot on different maps. So it's kind of incomprehensible if you haven't played in the pro team if I started using those callouts. So I'm going to have to wing it.
Yep.
If I just start saying Crims, it's not going to mean anything to anyone.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a few. The B-bomb site especially got fleshed out at the World Finals. So we got Jail, which is that little spot on the left as you come into B. I quite like that one. And then Glyphs. That's sort of a... I think it's a Harry special, actually. But there's also glyphs everywhere, like the hieroglyphs, right? They are kind of everywhere, so I'm not really sure. I've talked over this round. There's actually a decent chance that Sprout are going to be able to take it on the force buy, so I'll zone a back in for just a second. Sure, there's going to be a lot of that on this map, though, as we just talk about how interesting, exciting, and new and fresh it is. Calyx, fresh to finish 1, but couldn't get the second. And now Lonks on this Mac 10. Immor tap onto the bomb, smoke onto it as well. Panic from Lonks is all he needed. Is there going to be enough time for the defuse? I think just about.
Yeah.
Looking at the 2 bars, but it is a little close for comfort, and of course only 1 player surviving.
No, I wonder if he didn't know exactly where it was planted, because I think he could have played the bomb a little bit more. I mean, there's the pillar on the platform, just as we've flew past it there, that maybe could have bought a bit more time, but I mean, Sprout should buy again. Yeah, and they are. Yeah, here we go. So, I mean, it's disappointing. They had a 3-on-2. I think they played the outer plant reasonably well, going, trying to take a fight in that 2-on-2 and at least secure some control. But it's not the end of the world. I mean, there's no money in the Eternal Fire bank. You just need to focus up. Your buy is realistically not much worse, and with an AK on a player like Lornx, just back him up to whatever he wants to do.
XANTARES. Slowly but surely working his way through canals. Looking for an aggressive play here.
They've used everything.
Yeah.
They've got
some
one
stuff
smoke.
out.
This is. I mean, we'll see this map develops, but this is a big fallacy with new maps and new ideas. Is everyone likes these big shiny takes, lots of nades, get all this map control, and look what Eternal Fire have done. They just left it. Sprout have lost nothing apart from time, and Eternal Fire have no nades.
Well, Sprout will just hold, let those smokes go down, and now go for a slow contact retake here in towards the canals. And then the much disputed call out for this room. There's quite a few connectors on this map, so I'm not a fan of that. I kind of like E-Box, because there is an electric box to the side.
I've been calling it danger because
of
cobblestone danger.
Yep.
Being a similar sort of stairwell.
Yeah. So we'll see. That one is still developing, I suppose. You know where we mean now when we say danger or E-Box. XFloud going to find the head of the first. Does get traded out Like Staehr, Zyphon coming in. The Molotov as well is a bit iffy for Immor to work around. He's here on the Org, interestingly enough. Down to a 1 versus 2. It was looking good, I thought, for the T side. Calix, 6 HP on the USP, spots out the Shadow, thank goodness, and is able to find the final frag. Another chaotic round coming in. We're already on 3. Eternal Fire, though, they do look at home here, I will say.
Yeah, you can see how when Sprout executes with those backside smokes, they're really very close to the bomb site, aren't they? It's a bit like doing left-right smokes on A-side Vertigo, where you're just going to get absolutely shredded with bullets coming through the smoke because they're fundamentally so close to you. The CDs can get right up behind them. They know roughly, the rough pathing and a couple of the plant spots. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just a virtue of the map. Maybe Sprout could approach the site a little bit different, but Eternal Fire just sprayed and prayed, and it sort of worked. Well, they're not relenting. Another buy. This one is a little bit more questionable, of course. The previous, if they had a plant here, definitely buy. But this is borderline. They definitely need to do big damage, if not win the round.
Yeah. Yeah, still filling out the map. I think they know that early days is just going to be a lot of gunfights, to be honest. Refresh very quickly down into canals. Calix watching the angle. Top goes in, smoke to keep him at bay. Ooh, however, they are distracted away by one player.
Oh, that was
in
beautiful,
towards that E-box area. Yep, and that's really well played. Again, I think that speaks to what you're talking about, the sort of the shiny takes. There's also the fact that people have not worked out their spots yet. So it's like, you hear a bit of noise, you probably want to look towards it and go for the fight. I know this angle, and I don't think that you have to remember that it's like, oh, well, my teammate might not have my back completely. They're just not familiar. Sometimes before you make a move, you have a quick look at the minimap, and you can call off that move in your head. Not even speak it, not even move for it, but I think there's going to be a lot of this sort of cat and mouse going on.
Yeah, you got to kind of understand that with, well, especially how Eternal Fire are playing, but I think in general with this map is the T side can get all the way up to the outside of B via the long side, and then equally from the canals into what we're calling kind of the danger area, and they can just go immediately. And that's what happened there, is they were up close in both avenues. They pressure one of them a little bit, and then just explode out the other with numbers. Very simple, and just a couple flashes, and yeah. Maybe you need to start playing 3B if it's that possible. If you don't take advanced map control, that is just going to happen all day long. You're just going to get
I think when the few maps that we had, not that anything is set in stone, right? The few maps that we had at the World Finals of this, there was an awful lot of 1 on A.
Yeah.
2 mid, 2B. And the 2 mid, 2B was pretty flexible. But it seems like we're just going 2-1-2 here on the Eternal Fire side of things. And as I said in the pregame, that B bomb site is very popular. Maybe once again we're on another ancient sort of campaign where the bomb site should be swapped around, perhaps. Whatever. Staehr going to find the first on an MP9 that he had recovered. And once again, they look to hit B off the back of a few simple smokes and a flash. We'll see.
Good try from XANTARES. I guess somebody had to make a play. But he does get traded, and Sprout are very, very comfortable here just to put the brakes on. It's really hard for Eternal Fire to push up and, get a bit of map control and then lean to in the other direction. As you're saying, the best they can do here is just leave 1A, play kind of semi-retake, and think more about the B side of the map.
Much slower round here in number 5. I think since Sprout have been able to get on the board, both teams have got to be careful.
See the gamble from Eternal Fire. I guess, again, I just haven't seen enough Anubis to get a feel for it yet, but
yeah, they
immediately decide against on a full... I mean, they have no info here. It's a full guess to stack A, but was there an avenue for a CT aggression? Is it just unviable in some areas? So, yeah, at the moment, just taking the absolute safe approach and just thinking about future rounds.
Well, an anticlimactic finish into this one, but so far it is looking good for Sprout to close this gap once they've had more stable buys, let's say. Even then, they didn't need a full-on buy to get their first on the board. The bomb site, it looks very, very vulnerable, so we'll see if there is a change-up from Eternal Fire in that sense. That is one thing. It's very hard to play a default on the T side because the map is just so wide. It's not very tall, let's say, but it's incredibly wide. So I think you really do have to pick a bomb site similar to Ancient in that sense.
I think the so the reason I was saying I like this pick from Eternal Fire is because they're an underdog, and the reason I wouldn't like this pick if it was kind of even teams and they had other options to go into is precisely because you just don't know what Sprout are like on this map at all. There's no data, so Sprout might be brilliant at this map. They might have practiced it loads. We just have no idea, and well, pretty limited sample size thus far, but they look like they know what they're doing. That was a great mid take. Look at this deep nade, a deep utility usage. They've clearly practiced this pretty well, and straight into this A split. I think these aggressive players on the CD side are going to be really ready for this, and indeed they go down 3-on-3. Bomb just needs to be recovered.
Lounx and Imor going to cross in the night. There you go. Lounx will find him in the end. I got a bit weird for just a second. 3-3. Around a bit faster. Now we go back in for another buy from Eternal Fire.
AWP is out. We'll see where Imor chooses to play with that one. Guess you've got quite a few options on this sort of map. Where to pick into. I don't think we're going to see an aggressive take like we did right in those early gun rounds. Deep smoke comes in for mid, but apart from that, it's just a free B start and do eyes on Imor because it looks like he's just going to post up initially on that B long area. Not getting too aggressive yet.
Much slower on the upswing for this one. You can definitely feel that the tension has been added into these rounds now that we're on fully fledged out buys. Shoulder peek from XANTARES. Flash is just brilliant. Comes over from Xiphon. There's something maybe you can go back and have a look at. He does take an awful lot of damage to Staehr, but all the same, pretty solid. Major trying to
get
so
a trade comfortable
in.
Defaulting to me. I mean, they just it's a good nade, but Zello knows to post on the further backswing. One player creeps up close. There's a nice flash over the top, and it just it just looks fluid. It looks nice and clean. I mean, it's simple CS, but with the state Anubis is at right now, that's how you're going to win this. Is just by continually making the small moves correctly and not losing numbers. And they might have got traded back here, but with the lack of information the CD side, we can see it's only Imor on this site, and without body armor, one bullet and he's in for a world of pain.
World of pain on the way. Imor got to be careful then. Smokes running on down. Are they ready for an AWP? It looks like they are, and they're going to be coming at him from two different angles. Rotation come through from XCloud. First missed shot, second does land. He's instantly dealt with though. And they've got control of this B bomb site, just about able to get the bomb down there in the nick of time. XCloud gonna get the lead for his squad. Major and Calix, meanwhile, they may well have been heard dropping down there, but all the same, they're coming in together. So Refresh gonna have a lot of work to do. No kit available, and just a smoke, so it is gonna come down to gunfights. Crouching peek doesn't work. Calix goes for the same. It works for him, and XCloud to pick the head of Zello. Eternal Fire back on the board after a simple little retake on that B bomb site.
It looks a little bit clumsy from Sprout, where some of the players thought we need some more control, the others were sitting back. So the players, of course, that just planted the bomb. I mean, it's not a question I really know the answer to yet, but I would have thought holding on to that danger area and the B long, the outside of the site, probably would have been enough with the man advantage. So food for thought for Sprout. I'm sure they'll think about that going into future games, but in the here and now, at least they got money to rebuy. It's not too bad, and well, they've certainly kept that Eternal Fire money very limited, so just keep up the pressure.
It's the way to work. We'll see how this round pans out. Then you can see it's a FAMAS is in there just to sort of reiterate your point about the money. So what are the Sprout options? Again, defaulting towards that B side of things. Going to go in for a fast burst round. Quick 1-for-1. Need this major boy to fall, and he will indeed. 4 versus 3. B bomb site. Whoa, vulnerable. Thank God for Zello, otherwise Zypher might have been a dead man. Bomb goes down, and with that, 4v2, it's got to be a save.
It's a bit like we saw yesterday from Sprout, where, I mean, the rounds they're losing, you can see how they could win them, and they're always doing so much damage. The moment they get a call bang on, like they did just here, suddenly Eternal Fire in big trouble. They've only got these 2 saves. They might have to force in the next, depending on where their loss bonuses. And Sprout looks so comfortable splitting this B bomb side, don't they? They're so good at, you know, bounce on one the danger side, sending stuff over the long side, and it's looking pretty nice. There is a collapse there.
All right, timeout coming in instantly from Eternal Fire. A lot to talk over. Money getting away from them now. This is going to be a real challenge. I'm not quite sure. This is the thing with Anubis. It's not like we can really prod and poke from our side, let alone their side of the server, as it were. 4-4, but already it's kind of shaky from this CT side. The money really getting away from them, as it so often does. And they just don't have the ideas to work with from here, Alan. I don't think it's going to be a tough one. Hopefully this follow-up rival round.
We kind of spoke about it before the map, that, I mean, Eternal Fire does, in a sense, live and die by XANTARES. The good news is that XANTARES normally is just so monstrously consistent that that's not really a problem. He's always going to have his numbers, but he's playing the mid position on this map, and I can't think of a round where we had particularly great impact. He's just getting pushed off with nades. He had that round where he's getting caught out in the open by the flashbang, so I don't know. XANTARES surely doesn't have a lot of experience playing this position just yet, and maybe, well, if he can't get his act together, this CT side could really fall apart, because the heaviest hitter is yet to really come out in force.
Zello on a contact play. No flash, funnily enough, but they will trade him out. I'm sure they're going to be happy with that. Pistol distraction for XANTARES, and that's what he can do. We already knew that. We just need the rest of the team perhaps to get behind him, and it's going to be hard for them to do that in this round. But they've made it interesting with the 2K, and they've actually forced Sprout the first time to move towards A, at least a little.
I really thought Staehr was going to sprint towards A, but I think Sprout know what they're doing. They know that players can come through danger and into canals and cut them off. Bit of a fake then, and the bomb's actually heading back towards B, so they kind of threaded the needle here. Amazingly, Refreshers made it all the way into the back lines, and they get this bomb down and just get into a comfortable after plant. Xbox doesn't have armor, and XANTARES has 8 HP, so I don't think this retake is on.
No. Save the AKs. Sure, you're going to buy into the next, but that one-tap potential, I mean, we've just seen what it can do. XANTARES taking 3 heads, one of them where he really had no right. They are looking. They are looking, and this feels like a go for it angle. Frightened off. Molotov to push. Oh! Staehr out, but it's going to be X-Flag with an awkward team kill. That is a bit annoying, because maybe they had a chance to do some more damage. Won't be the case, though. Number 5 for Sprout, taking the lead.
What are we calling that kind of platform area on the right at the bomb site? Where they are playing the after plant.
I want to say, is that the one that Harry and the boys call glyphs?
Is that glyphs? So the other side is jail.
Yes.
We'll go with glyphs.
Yeah, I think so. We might have to do a group fly-through. We need someone out there.
Yeah, okay,
yeah, it's got to be,
because we've got some nice...
massive one
But
on
it
the
doesn't
wall.
actually make sense, because that's not a hieroglyph. That's just an art piece, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Someone tweet at Harry and tell him.
Also, I mean, there's the same art piece in towards mid, so I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I only caught this.
If we could work out which kind of deity or whatever it's...
Yeah, well, I know Launders had one about Ramsey.
Okay, yeah.
You know, Ramsey's Gordon Ramsay Raw thing. If anyone was watching, I'm sure they'll know what I was talking about. But it seems even at the very top, it's a bit of a clown fiesta in terms of what's being called what. But this map is in desperate need of...
There's the glyphs on the left.
Yeah.
That's getting it all wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, I think we go around in circles. We need Carrigan to come out, you know, on his YouTube channel and be like, I do this call outs, because it's just it's cool with Inferno and, you know, Mirage to a certain extent. All these types of maps. Dust 2, obviously. Cobble, whatever. They've got callouts already set in stone. But this is a brand new map, so...
How does he get that kill? I mean, instantly traded, and that's kind of par for the course. And look at Xfloud. I mean, the smoke is down, but it's going to fade fairly soon. And Longs is doing so much to cut off the rotate. Xcloud on the left diagonal is never going to win that duel, especially against that many players. And this round has fallen apart. I mean, how to describe it? I think they've put XANTARES in mid because they think it's kind of so hard to defend. You just need to, you know, have your star player there to give yourselves a chance. But I feel like it'd be better just ceding the control. He's taking, you know, he's trying to take fights and he's just losing.
Yeah,
surely it's not worth his life.
The 1-for-1s are not worth at all. Like, at all. Usually they're pretty bad for a CT side. You lose the map control, whatever, but it just, you can move so fast on this map from mid towards A. It just is not worth it at all. Like, we're already saying, maybe the guy on the A bomb site pops off. That's the only saving grace that you'll have. If the A player goes down, the round's got to be over from that point. At least, you know, current iteration and all that sort of stuff. So mid control feels really valuable. And if you are just giving it away for a 1-for-1,
you know, kind of deep mid towards the CT bit, the kind of the L bend.
Yeah.
Is one smoke enough there to cover it off? Is it wide? Or is it too? Is it not wide enough?
I think it should be, yeah. This bit.
No, further back.
A little bit further back.
Way back to the kind of the L bend.
I think I know where.
So you come out of CT, you go left. Where Xcloud is just running through right now.
Yeah, one smoke should be enough.
I'm just
I mean,
wondering.
there might be some edge clipping type thing. I'm not sure, but one smoke should be enough.
Because it feels like an AWP angle to me.
Yeah.
It feels like you should seed mid and play it with an AWP. I might be wrong, but I'm convinced there's a better way to play it than XANTARES is at the moment.
Still working it out. Still working it out. This round they've decided, you know, more of a B-sided stack. XANTARES going to give up the mid control. They're getting that bomb obviously already planted here over on the A bomb site. All done. And that's going to be that.
It's part of a good playbook. I mean, we've seen a few defaults through mid. They've clearly got kind of some nades to split mid and take deeper control. They've got A exec nades. They've got B exec nades. I mean, I understand these would be basics on any other map. But, yeah, I mean, coming into this one, Eternal Fire didn't know if Sprout really had practiced this one at all, to be frank. And they're kind of learning the hard way that Sprout, at a minimum, I mean, based off my experience, they've easily played, what's a ballpark, 10 scrims on this map. I think that's pretty safe to say.
It looks that way. It definitely does look that way, that they're sort of catch-out pick. Surely there's got to be a reason that they leave it in, right? Sprout, we said yesterday, 7 map team. And they're definitely living up to that at the moment. I don't know. For me, it is an on-paper type thing, though. I think that, you know, individually they match up pretty well. But that's the thing as well. We're at such an early stage of Anubis being out. It's like, how much of a gotcha pick can it actually be? XANTARES, though, speaking of gotchas, going to take Staehr down on the boost. He was ready for that, seen that smoke before. So they're familiar with some things where we are maybe still learning as the pundits of it. And much like playing, you can only really get the best idea of how it handles itself in an official match.
Easy kill.
That's Major on the
Nice
AWP, by the way.
Major.
Big Major on the double AWP. Oh! Flying XANTARES! Okay. Yep, get that one.
He
clipped.
didn't need to do that.
He didn't.
That could have...
But he did.
I mean, style points. I'll give it to him. Why not? But, wow, that could have made that round a lot closer than it needed to be. That's how much he doesn't like playing in mid. He's like, I want to get out of here at any cost. Send himself through the window.
Oh, back into another round. Number 13 going to be getting underway. It seems to be moving pretty fast here through Anubis, I have to be honest. Not having too many late round executes or anything of the like. Going to be a load of flashes carried over to that B bomb site. So expect B to be the port of call. Staehr, I believe, that's doing it. Actually flashing mid kind of needlessly. But whatever. They have plenty of flashes to work with, basically, out towards this B area. Looks like we might have a slower one on our hands.
Just defaulting, going through the motions. Emo's on a good angle. I mean, he's got right eye. He'll beat Zello without a flashbang. See how this develops. Zello just posts up. Flash comes in, and it's not really effective, given that Emo's playing behind this pillar. Peeking through. Are they already going to meet each other's scopes? No, not quite on the angles. And Sprout. I mean, we've seen a lot of kind of these slow default rounds, but they are getting a little bit close on time here, so they need to think out where they want to end. They've still got free smokes, so kind of got their fair share of options here. But with Major aggressively on A, Eternal Fire could very confidently lean B right now.
I mean, why not? 3 players ready to go on this side of the map as well. Imor on the AWP, going to get flashed off. In they come. Very slowly in they come, but they are on their way. Molotov in towards that Glyphs area. A couple easy kills. However, Xcloud's not being mollied out. It didn't quite reach. Lounce will take him. Meanwhile, XANTARES through the smoke tries to be the hero. Only enough for one. But watch yourself, though. They know where Major's at now, and immediately the back off from Staehr. Immediately the back off from Major, actually. They're already on the hunt for him. They've kind of read into this fact. Going to split up and try and find him. Does need to be very careful. Knife in hand. Yep. Unlucky. Staehr going to take him down. And that'll be an 8 coming in for Sprout. This T side really flying now.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit brutal because from a kind of macro point of view, Eternal Fire completely outplayed Sprout in that round. They stayed on that double AWP. Major got all that space towards A. He even pushed in further when it went sub 30 seconds to get even more confirmation. Eternal Fire had 4 players B and just couldn't hold the site. So maybe they weren't playing off each other correctly. Maybe they splurged too many nades early on. I'm not sure exactly what the mistake was, but with 4 players, I mean, a bomb's going to be hard to play, but when you've got that many people, it kind of should be possible, shouldn't it? Just to have so many different angles of attack that it should really be getting more out of that round. They'll be kicking themselves they can win that.
Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. I think they're starting to see their map pick slip away from them a little bit. 5 rounds already good, but it feels very nervy. You don't want to say which way does this face, which way does it go. Is it CT, is it T-side? No one really knows at this point. Probably T-sided in the early days, right? Just because of that whole dictation of the pace and all that good stuff. Zello going to open up immediately. Killer angle as well to get that done. Staehr finds another, and that's got to be an immediate save. That's all the mid control, and apparently what we've heard, that's all you need on this map. I will say that kill is a bit silly from Refresh. Also, the bomb is quite far away from the action.
I don't know if he had a noise cue or something. That was a bit bizarre, wasn't it?
Goes for a run through the smoke. I think that player was reloading.
I'm sure he had his reasons. Maybe... I mean, Emo does play a lot of B, but it doesn't mean nobody was in the danger area. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll get away with it. Refresh is well, especially being an in-game leader at this point. He knows that was a little bit silly, so... Yeah. We'll give him a light slap on the wrist for that one, I guess.
Yeah, the rest of the squad's always there to pick up the pieces, it would seem. Getting that plant through. Going to be the round going their way. And that will be all she wrote here. Round number 14.
This T-side's been brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it really has. It took them a bit of time.
Where's the... I mean... Okay, they've lost a couple rounds. But... I mean, they lost Pistol. They lost Pistol. True. They only got out macroed for my money on 1 round. And apart from that, they've changed the pace. Mid has been all Sprout. A danger area. They seem very comfortable taking it at any point in the round. And admittedly, it was a heavy B half so far, but they're showing now that A is open for business as well. So, yeah, I mean, sing the praises so much of Sprout this week so far, but why wouldn't you? I mean, they've just been absolutely perfect. I think it's also with how Sprout is now. We've seen Sprout over a few days. I'm starting to get the feeling of I want to see them play top 15 teams. I really want to see them at Pro League now.
Yeah.
Especially with the new format that's a little bit more cutthroat, and every game is the stakes are a little bit more obvious. So I think the top teams will come out a bit harder. Because they were a bit underwhelming at the major. It was a huge step up from the RMR in both environment and level of pressure, and obviously being a new outfit in a sense. So yeah, I mean, Sprout so far against this level of competition has looked flawless, and I want to see them tested. I want to see someone really push them. Maybe it can be Eternal Fire later in the series, but based on what I've seen on Anubis, it might be a bit early to call, but Sprout to me look much more well drilled on this map to me.
Yeah, on the map, and then again, the individuals that they need to work are working. It's Lonks, it's Zyph, and it's Staehr, and Zello's not too far behind them, despite the fact that it feels like the AWP's not really been in the kill feed all that much. So they just have all their pieces working very nicely. At the moment, this map is functioning on individual fights, especially towards mid again in this round, right? XANTARES is going to go down. And it's hard. You can't point a single finger at Eternal Fire. They're just all not quite matching up. Calyx, though, a nice solo find from him. Tag onto Staehr as well, so going to be left low, but that mid control remains theirs. Nice 1-2 punch from Calyx and Immor to come through. It leaves Danger very vulnerable, however, playing around this pillar. Calyx is going to try his best to shut them down, and he gets himself another Immor on the AWP. Solid for 1. Can he get 2? Zello's creeping round. Oh, being given the ring around the rosy. Tagged through the smoke as well. USPs to finish it. 9-6 at the turn of the half. Not bad at all. Sprout ahead. Not by much. The pistol could make all the difference. Catch you after the break. Hello, everybody. Welcome back in. Second half shortly getting underway. We are waiting around for a second here, but I'm sure Eternal Fire do not want to be waiting much longer. They need to get this pistol under the belt, and they've got a fair bit of utility to boot. Interested to see what they're going to do with it.
Do indeed. We'll find out. To give you guys a little bit of a B-stream update, it's quite interesting because it's also a Anubis map 1. That was Soar's map pick up against Forza, and Soar are smashing them. 11 T rounds, so a definite, script reversal of what we're seeing in this game, where Eternal Fire might have picked this map, but Sprout, to me, based off just the eye test alone, just looks so much more well-versed. Eternal Fire have a lot to prove now on the offense.
Yep, absolutely, and as said, they've got a plan for this here pistol round, just not quite sure what it's going to be or where it's going to end quite yet. Ooh, a push through A, 4 of them, in fact. Imor getting into a sneaky spot. He's kind of ready for this. Going to find the first. Can he get any more, though? That's kind of the big question here. Massive headshot onto that second player. Means that they can activate. They've got all the info as well, so they're very quickly going to move towards this B-sided execute. Zello takes the head of XANTARES. Okay, so there are kills coming back through, and of course we've got refreshing on the site. Only 3 frags to his name. Now would be the time to pop off, wouldn't it? Only gets 1, though. 2 versus 2. Very, very doable.
They're just going to sit the smoke. Calyx, Major, they're going to play into Danger. It's really messy, this, isn't it? Another smoke on Danger just fading. And, well, the flack of information here is the biggest deal. If the CTs knew both players are Danger, they could just let one player stick and the other fight. But they've got to be a little bit nervous of V-Long. And only one player goes in to clear Calyx. Zello, all good fight and can't get the kills. So, yeah, Eternal Fire, decent cleanup. And I think massive credit to Emor. Getting 2 out of that position when he's getting chased down is a pretty big boon.
Pretty big boon indeed. Alrighty. We'll take a look. We'll see. Few deagles out for Sprouts. Did see the force buy from from Sprout coming very, very close on their T side. We'll see whether CT side's anything to go off of. Not entirely sure, but ultimately starting off slow.
It's a good CT smoke. I mean, they just deployed 2 mollies to clear out both the deep angles towards the double doors, and yeah, immediately blocked. They can't actually push through. They've got to take it a little bit later now as nades are starting to rain in. Smoking another molly, so a lot of utility expended. I guess they're holding on to the smokes, which is the good news. But I don't know if I don't even have the bomb actually at the moment, so they're very far from committed to a site here. They've got these players out in mid, but someone needs to run back because they can't commit you just yet.
Wow, this one's very strange in the early round. 35 seconds, Eternal Fire going for a super late move towards A. It is the lesser defended bomb site, I suppose, which, as we talked about, seems to be the common trend. No kits available makes a retake harder. I suppose we'll see what happens. Major leading the charge on the Mac 10. Clean kill onto Staehr. Should probably spell it. Refresh has dropped an AK. As they're being rotated on the smokes there, they might just consider saving this one. We'll see. Refresh has actually got a kit. Boost up above the smoke. Oh, spots a leg, an arm, and does find the head of Imor. Down goes Xiphon, and with that, they're going to move away. Okay, so
I think Emor saw him. I don't think Emor needed to take that fight, but
yeah,
it's not going to make a lot of difference. Yeah, I mean, you just see from Sprout, they just have no info, so best they could do was just play a little bit of retake on A. But yeah, you're sort of praying for a couple 1Ds, aren't you? Because if you don't get that, you're never going to be retaking on pistols, so maybe there was a window to get a bit aggressive, but as we've seen so far here in Nation, especially during the first half, with Eternal Fire and CT side, is avenues, even willingness for CT aggression is not really built up just yet.
okay. Another go at it, though. This is not too bad if they can work around that AK. Got a flash in the hand of Staehr, maybe a pop flash. To work around, we'll have to see. Seems to be another A play, this time a bit faster from Eternal Fire. They keep on moving past these checkpoints. It's going to be a lot faster, in fact. And the smoke has actually put the AK out of action. They're a bit readier this time around, but weaker weaponry means the same result. Both going to go down. I would imagine Refresh will hold on to that AK, and it'll be a 9 for Eternal Fire very quickly, even in the scoreline up.
Very, very quick stuff. I mean, Refresh was the only opportunity here, and he fortunately just wasn't in the right place. So, not too much to work with. He's going to save that one through. Eternal Fire will have a good amount in the bank, actually, after this round. So, that's good news. Keeping these 5 players alive. No AKs in the following, if it does happen. So, play it a little bit. It'll be a little bit trickier to play than they might hope. Hilariously, the TD should have more AKs than the T side in the first go round. And I'm very excited just to see, well, from both perspectives. I want to see if Eternal Fire look a lot cleaner on the T side, if they've got their options, but also, given the variety we saw from Sprout, I'm not sure we're going to see such a kind of standard, you know, repeatable, almost default CD side. I think they're going to throw a lot of different looks here.
That's the way that we want it to go, though. Hopefully we'll get some different looks out from next game as well, right? Yeah, definitely going to have Anubis twice today. That's the hope, anyway.
And we got endpoint?
We do.
It's their permaban.
Oh.
Well, I'm fairly sure it is.
Unlucky. What better time? You know, you got nothing to lose, right? We're down there in the lower bracket. We'll see. We can hope. And maybe say a prayer or two.
Up against Genk is definitely a matchup where you just play you do just play your standard maps.
Yeah.
If they had to play Sprout to make it into Pro League, then I'm all for it.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Well, what have we got then? So we've got a bit of a retake B sort of setup. It's actually Zello retake A sort of setup. It's just Zello, and now he's clearing into kind of the deeper lanes. And a heavy B lean. Staehr is already playing very differently to XANTARES. Look at him. He's way back in mid. Not really interested in a fight. He'll just call out the utility and then pick a direction to fall back into. And big pressure on Zello. He needs a kill here, and he has to stay alive for a little bit.
Gets one. It's going to be hard for him to escape from here, though, and he knows it. Flash comes round. They're closing the gap. Yeah, needed a quick flick. Couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. Ultimately needed a player to be in his crosshair. He's going to be the only A defender as well, so this gets very interesting now. A recovered AWP for the Eternal Fire boys as well. How do we get back in? How do we pull off the retake? Smoke yourself out a little. Try and work a headshot angle. Messy phalanx. They're waiting on this flanker in the form of Refresh to get his booty over here, mate. Big nade onto one. If they'd stack them on top of each other, could have been quite nice. No kills as yet coming in. There you go, Xiphon in for 2. Flank from Refresh. He gets caught with nade in hand. Maybe trying to flash Xiphon back in. I'm not quite sure. All the same, the timer's ticking away. And the flash from the T side is solid. 10th round on the board for Eternal Fire. A mess of a retake from Sprout, it has to be said.
Yeah, it looks like on paper really good, didn't it? Because we're coming from all 3 avenues. They're doing a lot of damage. I mean, the nades didn't find a kill, but it made Eternal Fire really uncomfortable. I think Sprout should have won that. And I think with a bit more experience on the map, when they watch that back, they'll say, you know, we could have done this together, or maybe Refresh to be like, okay, I'm just going to stay gun out next time. A lost opportunity, and Eternal Fire are turning this map around. Their CD side was not good. Their CD side was not good at all. Thankfully for them, both pistol rounds are doing a lot of work in terms of holding them in this map. But yeah, I mean, that round was nice for them. It was pretty simple. And as you said, I mean, it's nice for Zello to be on a deep angle and get some information, but he can't move, can he, behind that pillar? The only way out is just frags.
They were also ready for him there, it felt like. You know what I mean? I think they're a little bit ahead in terms of knowing the spots, knowing what are common AWP angles, things like that. Because I think that spot's very, very good for like a one and done. And often you're seeing players lurk on A. Someone gets a bit giddy, goes for an early peek, and they go down to it. Lovely stuff. But when there's multiple people, yeah, it is inescapable almost. Nice Molotov as well.
I was a bit surprised that
Aggie
Staehr didn't help faster. Or Staehr didn't help faster.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was really scared of someone coming in mid and kind of catching off guard, or he's a bit scared of a lurk, but you can kind of see that Zello is so stuck that one flashbang from a teammate would have made a colossal difference, wouldn't it? For him to re-peek and take a good fight.
Yeah, we'll see. Immort on this AWP, ready and waiting to go. It is one of those rounds that you don't really expect to go the way of Sprout, but after the first kill, they seem very timid on the Eternal Fire side of things. They definitely are worried, I think, about this one. So, 45 seconds. Got to watch themselves so they don't, go walking into a neat little crossfire. Zyphon's got that M4 out on towards the A-bomb site. They've decided to give up middle completely in this round after showing presence there earlier on. Just gets very curious in the final 30 seconds, and Zyphon has a nasty angle.
Yeah, this first duel is everything, isn't it? If he gets one kill here, I think this is really tricky. Flashbang is good. Zello called upon, but just getting enveloped, and that was a really clean take. Maybe also an indication that, playing on the site is just so tricky, isn't it? It's so easy to get flashbangs in. There's nothing really to hide behind, or, on a lot of bomb sites in this game, you'll play an angle where you're holding kind of a tight angle. It's really hard to flash. You've got a big pillar up next to you or something, but there's not really a lot of avenues for that on that bomb site, and that 1-2 setup really didn't get them very far.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems attacking the A-bomb site, Eternal Fire, are really into that idea. And when will it end, I'm sure, is what Sprout are saying, because as soon as they go, and gamble stack 2 on A, 1 on mid, or something like that, Eternal Fire, of course, will go to a weakened B bomb site. So you can't really win at this point. It's all on Eternal Fire making the incorrect call rather than Sprout trying to get ahead of it. But very, very frustrating, I'm sure, for Sprout at this point that, they just seem to be going A so effectively.
Yeah, I don't mind Zello playing there. I've got a hunch that playing it more aggressively is the play. I don't think, now I've seen it play out, I don't think you can play that pillar unless you got a smoke or some help. I think we saw Major, didn't he? He was playing closer to the kind of the double door. Yeah. It's actually might be a single door, but you know what I mean. The kind of the entranceway itself to the site. Versus sitting back. So we'll see if they make a change. Zello this time is trying to start in mid, but Utility is not being his friend in this round, taking a bit of damage. Lonks has actually picked up a secondary AWP, so clearly favouring a bit of a switch up. We haven't seen this yet, so all eyes on Lonks and whether he can make this work.
Nice find coming in from Lonks. Ready and waiting. Very, very slow once again after this first kill, so really difficult to know at this stage. We're trying to get to the bottom of the sound, folks, but, bear with us. I don't know, Alan, you want to make noises, or?
Not in this context.
Yeah.
But we'll make do, of course. We can still see exactly what's going on. We'll hope we'll get on top of that fairly soon. Heavy B stack from Sprout. They're sitting unbelievably passive. And look on A, their adjustment is to play 2 towards kind of the pillar area, the back plat part of that bomb site. Refresh, jiggling here. A couple teammates help, and that kill does a lot of work to alleviate pressure. Even so, still trapped between a rock and a hard place. We've seen this a lot on this map. Is this bomb site so quickly going to get pinched? And there you go again. It's so difficult to hold on to it.
Yep. 15 seconds left on the clock, though. I mean, this is very close one. They're not going to have time to get into the post plants, but there's the XANTARES peak that we all know and love. So fast with it. Plays so effectively online, and he will also find Zello coming alive there in a big, big round, actually, for Eternal Fire. They managed to pull it over the line despite losing the first player. I think this is us kind of, working our way down into the sound issues as quickly as we possibly can. It's going to be us on camera for a few moments, and hopefully we don't miss too much of the action there, but obviously we want to get to the bottom of that. Unfortunately, not quite sure. Okay, yeah. So the game's actually paused, so yeah, definitely not missing anything. We've worked with the admins, the powers that be. So it'll be us for a few moments while we get it sorted, but the game itself is not going anywhere.
Yeah, it should be fixed fairly soon. I don't think it's a terminal issue, put it that way. It's just a little niggle on the back end, but I won't lie. I think winning both pistols has made a big difference here for Eternal Fire. I think they'd be in a world of pain if they hadn't. But irrespective, they are streaking a long way ahead. Just saw in that round, the money isn't good at all for Sprout. So it's not pretty, but they're on. I think they're going to win this map. They look pretty good right now.
Yeah, they're in position. They're definitely in position. I think that their T side, they just have a little bit more of a feel of where the cheese is at. We've got a lot more nade usage and things like that. Interestingly enough, it was Sprout that were relying more on the individuals to just win duels, whereas it does seem Eternal Fire have a few more, not necessarily set rounds. I wouldn't go that far, but they have some set pieces, I suppose, that once they can work out how to add a few of those together effectively, then they could have a set round. But nonetheless, looking a lot more effective on their own T side, and XANTARES especially taking names in these past few rounds.
And I think we have actually seen quite a lot of different things from Sprout, but they haven't got any way to get over these fundamental issues of how do I get information? How can I force a B setup that works? I mean, at what point do they just need to start playing a lot of retake if they don't have maybe get aggressive for an entry, then start playing retake, because they can't hold on to even the bomb size at the moment. It's a little bit scary. They're trying out a lot of different setups, and none of them, frankly, are working that well. So it might just be a lack of experience, but I think they just they might need to start throwing Hail Marys, because not a lot is working on the CD side in the gun rounds.
Yeah, some aggression somewhere, I think, has got to come out, right? Because they're just resting a little bit too much on their heels. We do have Overpass coming up next. Pretty safe map, not necessarily a home map for Sprout even. So you never know. Eternal Fire could really upset the apple cart with this one if they are to take this first map. Their newfound confidence against Sprout might just spur them forwards onto Overpass. So you never know. I think at the very least, Sprout have got to continue to keep this one competitive, continue to keep it close. And yes, the pistols do make a difference, but ultimately they are as yet to pick up a round in the second half. So that's certainly a big telltale of how things are going, and the fact that they are a bit deflated. And now we've got a tech pause coming in, which is also unfortunately a little bit out of their hands, I think. So very, very tedious indeed to be on the receiving end of the Eternal Fire attack.
Yeah, I think Sprout should be reasonably experienced enough to keep a fairly calm head. But yeah, there definitely is a question here of what do you do now? I mean, they have got a bit of time to stew and really talk about it, I guess, which is the good news. If this had been on LAN, they wouldn't be able to talk right now. So that's almost a godsend for them that they can have a quick discussion about, is there anything we can throw at them? Have we got something a bit more unorthodox? Can we? I don't know. I mean, this half is slipping away from them so quickly that I just feel like playing default isn't the route forwards.
Yeah, certainly seems to be the case. We've just been given a bit of a 2-minute warning, folks, so we should be back into that game nice and quickly. Nothing to really wait about, but obviously, as we've said, we've just got to sort the issue there so that everyone's all good, all cool, and ready to get back into the action as soon as possible. But yeah, it is again shaping up to be a pretty good series. If Eternal Fire can take this first map, then we definitely have a series on our hands, and one would assume we go to Mirage, but really XANTARES is playing kind of lights out, as I've said, and the rest of the team's also not too far behind him, to be honest. So I think Sprout have got to watch themselves. They might have started to count their eggs before they hatch, so to speak, with that Pro League spot just being a little bit over the hill. So it certainly can happen if you're not careful.
Yeah, as a quick update on the other stream, Saw have just won map 1. It was their map pick. It was Anubis. Good for them. 16-7's pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Especially given that Forza had side choice where they wanted to go. They chose the defense, and it was a bit of a train wreck. So, yeah, Saw 1 map away from Pro League. You jerks didn't have the best showing in map 1, but if you look at the kind of the bracket in totality, could be en route to championing another team to a Pro League spot. So yeah, Udix is playing good, and Saw, well, they weren't in Pro League last time, but they might be proving good on some of those roster moves if they can make it here.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll have to see how things pan out over on the other stream. And then, of course, do bear in mind there's sort of many streams going on as possible. We are going to have a lower bracket game ourselves, and then a little bit further down the line, you know, we'll keep up with these teams that are going to make it through. There's also a bit of a B stream going on at the moment. There was a C. I don't think there will be any more, I would assume, just because of the way that the games are panning out. Maybe they're covering the lower bracket, not quite sure. But there's lots of Counter-Strike going on to keep up with. And, of course, we've got one coming up later on.
I believe there is a C stream. I think it's the Sinners 9 game.
Right.
Which is in the lower bracket, as mentioned. And Sinners are about to lose their map pick. Sinners, I mean, assuming they lose this map, they'll be on their opponent's pick in Mirage up against Elimination. So that's a pretty big shock if they went out this early.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of potential for those shocks to come in. So keep your eyes on it. HLTV, where you can find it all. Maybe Liquipedia as well if you want a little bit more in-depth in terms of the brackets and how they pan out and who could face off against who. But you know where to go, right? You know what the avenues are to keep up. We should be getting back into the action momentarily here, folks. It's not quite started just yet, but I think, you know, we'll get the game back on the screen for you there. So you've just got something a bit different to look at for a few more moments. But hopefully, yeah, we should be back into the action soon.
Well, let's just recap a little bit. So first half, it was fairly good for Sprout. Despite losing Pistol, they hold up a lot of rounds. They come on to the second half and yet to win a round. Not looked brilliant. Of course, we're still a little bit up in the air. We're not really sure where the map balance is at. I think it is probably slightly T-sided based off what I've seen, you know, a little bit of Blast and here in this game so far, but certainly not, you know, whitewash dominant. Sprout should be getting some rounds on the board, and this one is just going to be a half buy around the M4, so yeah, hardly have the weaponry to turn it around here, and Eternal Fire yet to be stopped on their T-side rampage.
That is very true. So there's the setup for you, and now we are back into the action. See whether Eternal Fire can keep it rolling. One would assume for this round, they should be able to retain this momentum. How much further does it go then? That's the dangerous question. That's the big question at this stage. Eternal Fire looking to keep it rolling.
Where are you, Staehr? Out in mid, bit of a flashbang, nobody's around. Re-smoke. Onto this right side. Just the default, so Eternal Fire, plenty of players in the canals. I guess they're aware of the economy. There's probably a half buy, so they're looking very tame right now. Quite used to seeing aggression from this team, but not the case on this round. Taking it very, very slow, and it looks like this duel for danger is going to be the first fight. Smoke goes down. That'll buy time. And actually, it was a really bad smoke. That actually will not really do anything.
Yeah, a little bit of a mess. And Antares is going to be able to just gather all this information then. Early nadage going out. Might be someone in the corner. Get the nades, the mollies, all that good stuff. There's actually a boost up here for Staehr. So if they move in, which by all accounts it looks like they will, you know, the bomb not too far behind XANTARES there, they could be in for a nasty, nasty surprise on this one. What a naughty little angle up there. See how it goes. Zello's distraction. They were a little ready for the place. Staehr does get one, but unfortunately the bottom end of his totem pole falls. Not quite hidden away as well as they thought they were. 4 on 2 and an easy finish.
I'm surprised the bottom player was facing.
Yep.
Can he not tuck in enough to
I don't
not
think
be
so.
visible?
It looks kind of like a half player block.
Yeah. If we go for that spot name as Glyphs, I really don't think it's playable. I mean, nobody has survived in this spot.
Yeah.
Because if this wall jutted out an extra half a meter, I think it would be playable, but it's just not enough cover, is it? And you're always kind of trying to juggle your attention between the danger and kind of be long. And I mean, as soon as you're trying to cover one, you're massively exposed to the other. Yeah, it's that's a rough spot to play. I'm starting to think retake is a better approach. Nobody in this entire game has found any success playing in there.
Well, that'll be one to check in with, you know, in a couple weeks' time, whether it's still a popular spot or not, whether it gets maybe changed a little bit. We'll have to see. A bomb site as well. I'm guessing the yellow here on the hood is where they can plant, which feels like it has some interesting plant spots over there. Maybe, possibly. We'll see. Zello, first kill coming in for that CT side.
They needed that. They really just needed someone to generate something. Staehr's actually still going to get aggressive. He's got a bit of a gap here. All the players are committed canals, and X-Filed is a dead man. He's an absolute dead man. Staehr could have pushed a little bit further. That would have collected the bomb, but he's doing the smart move. He's playing the percentages. Just give it up. As I was saying a second ago, we can play very passive on the bomb sites now. It's not a risk. Sit back, and with this many numbers, it's going to take a miracle from Eternal Fire. They're going to have to find, you know, a stellar entry off one player.
All quiet here on Anubis. Couple nades ringing out. 40 seconds for Eternal Fire to make their way in. Only 3 of them, of course, remain. And that late smoke, that's going to put A out of action. Surely there's no way you make it in the next few moments. Major going to try with the bomb, the old fake out, but they just weren't biting. Unfortunately, the cell on the A-bomb site was not very good.
This is a much nicer round, wasn't it? And, I mean, Eternal Fire probably weren't putting up the same pressure as they have on previous, but it was also nice to see Sprout saving nades a little bit more, thinking about, you know, I would call them kind of protocols or pre-plans. It's like, if they do come, if they do start to execute what nades you're going to use, and that was really nice. So, not what we saw earlier in the half where it was kind of no nades left, every man for himself. That was a good defense. Still, though, I mean, the scoreline doesn't look so bad, but when I look at the money here for Eternal Fire, they've just got so many chances to at least make it to overtime.
Yeah, I would think so. We'll see. Sprout are going to have to turn up in a big, big way. It definitely could happen. Again, the virtue of a new map, it's going to be very difficult to know what's going wrong once it starts going wrong. Eternal Fire are not at panic stations just yet. They're not being at panic stations for a good while. But Zello going to open up once again, this time out towards B. He's being very dynamic, very aggressive, and I think they've really changed up that amount of aggression since this extended pause that we've had.
Yeah, I think Emo had top spawn, so he's going to try and take a fight, but it looks like it's CT-sided. I didn't catch Zello's spawn, but he was just on the angle in time by the looks of it. And Eternal Fire, they did have 4 towards A. They are going to commit behind this. Zyphon tucked in the back of the bomb, so there's a big kill, and now he can just wait for his teammates. Boost is nice as well. This is a great angle. I don't think XANTARES can be ready. Woo! That's a duel only XANTARES can win. That's amazing.
Yep, that is, once again, the famous XANTARES peak. It does allow them to get the bomb down, but the round itself is just not going to happen here. Calyx was maybe their last hope. 19 HP XANTARES. I do not see it happening. Neither does he. He's going to hightail it out of there and just save the AK. Keep that cash as high as possible for the rest of the squad. 11 rounds then for Sprout, and pretty decisive in the past 2.
Off the back of Zello, 2 entries. 2 big kills. And in completely different places. So Zello is starting to get a little bit more dynamic. He has played a lot of the map. He's played some A rounds as well, so giving us a full show. And we'll see what happens now. I mean, this money, whilst it was amazing, is dwindling pretty fast. Bomb plant will help, you know, stabilize a tad. So there are still buys to come. Sprout by no means out of the woods. But yeah, I'm going to keep watching Zello because if he can keep repeating these entries, that opens a window, a crack back into this game.
Yep. Oh, Zyphon going aggressive. Flash comes in. He's going to get past. At the very least, it forces the T-AWP off the angle. It's actually a self-flash that he's gone for there. It's certainly worth considering. There's a little pop flash you can do for yourself. That wasn't too bad in terms of the timing.
Really needs some help.
Yep. Melting down. Back end of the site. So much fire everywhere. He's going to get aggressive, but he goes down to the Molotov. His smoke didn't quite put it out, perhaps, and that's going to cost them in a big, big way. Lonks doing his best to get aggressive. There, meanwhile, he wants to creep in here. However,
oh no.
No! Makes a bit of sound. I think he was worried about that, so he felt like he had to go firing earlier. I don't know. 4 versus 2 ensues, though, and Sprout going to have to save. Eternal Fire, they do crack the bank, so to speak.
Yeah, he clearly wanted to walk all the way in, didn't he? And then get the kill on X-Cloud when he knows he can get 2, but... yeah, obviously it looks a little bit silly in the end, but I really don't blame him. Really don't blame him. It looked like it was going to be a great round for Sprout. I mean, Staehr had a fully pushed through mid. Fully pushed through mid. They knew exactly what was happening. He was on a mega flank. If they'd just stayed alive a little bit longer, those T's would have been so penned in on the site. And, yeah, just unfortunately for them, Xiphon could only get one in that first play rotating in. Didn't last very long, so retake just became all the more difficult. And now Eternal Fire are really in touching distance.
Timeout coming in as well. They know how close they are, so they want to make sure that they can get this one over the line cleanly, not give Sprout any room, any momentum. Because now they start to believe, don't they, in the way that we talked about, that they could perhaps get things done on overpass.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way. I mean, 2 chances. A team like Eternal Fire, they're so explosive. They are, in my eye, they are an inconsistent team, but that goes both ways. They might have a terrible map towards the end of this series, but equally, they could just come out swinging so hard on overpass that they might actually be able to pull this off. So you can't let this slip through your fingers if you're Eternal Fire. 2 chances for Pro League is very, very close around the corner. All they have to do is convert this, and this T-side has looked fairly formidable. Even when Sprout have had good reads, when they've had good macro, they haven't been able to hold. Eternal Fire's execution is just that a little bit too good to handle right now.
Staehr through the smoke. Doesn't know that XANTARES is right behind him already. A quick drop down canals and a quick B hit. Seems to be the order of the day. The bomb's already made its way through. Calyx just goes charging around. It's Lonks on the AWP, who does not stop. Oh my goodness. Firing range comes in, but it's XFloud that finishes it. How have they not taken him down? XFloud with an incredible 1v3. Stood in the same spot. The comms all over, and that is map point.
I think you'd be livid if you're Lonks. I mean, he's won them the round. And for those last 2 players, I mean, I know Zello probably thinks he can kind of get a sort of trade, but if they just play it together, it's such a hard round for that T-side player. That is devastating, and Lonks tries to get aggressive. He tries to be the hero, and hero to 0 in this round. Eternal Fire 4 frags away from having 2 shots at Pro League.
All they needed. This first map goes their way, and they will indeed feel confident moving forward. Sprout, the Titan of Conference, getting knocked ever so slightly. It's still a decent 11 rounds, but it's looking like it's going to be a very good 16 from Eternal Fire. This second half has been incredible. The way that we look at it, right, is the fact that it's only 2 rounds for Sprout on their CT end, which is somewhat wild, and it continues to get hammered home. Major gets himself an easy kill, so now a 5-on-3 that should get taken over the line by Eternal Fire.
It's crumbling. I mean, Staehr's got to make a massive play. That feels like the only way back into this. They're so spread out. We're not even taking a risk of gambling somewhere. It looks like Refresh is just starting to clear into danger, but take a risk, boys. You're not. It's impossible. We've seen it. We've seen these sides are so easy to split. They're so hard to hold on to. You're never ever going to hold on to them playing this disparate. And it's only a matter of time until Eternal Fire come in, and wow, Refresh needs the round of his life to hold on to this.
Yep, the return flashes are actually not too bad. He does manage to find one, but he's not sure where they're all coming from. They line up for him. So much damage done. Has to be the difference makers. XANTARES is left on 6 HP. Calyx will get the bomb down in just a moment. Zello, meanwhile, charging through the smoke, trying to be the hero of the hour. Can't get the no-scope off. Staehr against 6 HP XANTARES, though, to make all the difference. There's hardly any time. Got to go for the hold, but Staehr's not quite sure. Nerves get the better of him. XANTARES, now's time for one of them peaks, my guy. It's not going to be easy for him, though, especially with it on the left eye from an angle like that. Staehr keeps Sprout alive just a little while longer.
Credit to Refresh. It wasn't just the kills. He did so much damage as they lined up. I don't think Eternal Fire played it that badly. I think it was just you know, the way the cookie crumbles with how they kind of lined up as into Refresh's crosshair. But that's a kicker. Maybe the danger player shouldn't have gone first. That probably was the only mistake. let the numbers work first. But yeah, that's a lifeline. Sprout 3 required. Money's still good for Eternal Fire, but I'm yet to be convinced that was a miracle that they won that round. That was not off the back of, you know, a great call or some great prudence or some, you know, incredible saving of nades. That was all individual plays, and well, maybe there's more to follow. Staehr gets an entry. Is this really going to happen?
Goodness. I would assume so in some sense. Major, he finds a return frag, though. He finds a return frag. Refresh getting aggressive. He's going to get eyes on the bomb. Eyes on him or in the back. Might get a little more than he bargained for. They do need to be careful. Calyx makes an awful lot of noise. Oh, weird little switch back from his pistol to his AK. Goodness me, this is a bloodbath right now. It's Calyx, though, who finds the double. Massive headshot to make it a 3 versus 2. They've got that bomb retrieved, and they know that the general A player is in the bin. Staehr's been over there most of the time. He's in the bin. It's now Zello with the AWP that has to hold 2 angles.
I mean, the advanced position from Lawrence, it might look nice, but he's just so far. He's so far away. Oh, now he pounces. Oh, I thought they were going to go A. Maybe this can work out if he can just get in behind Danger. He's actually going to loop back around to B long. Well, if Zello can pull some attention, if Zello could hold a little bit of attention, maybe they won't be looking.
Is that a smoke that's just gone down? Oh, it's a Molotov. Okay, so he still technically has the flank, and he has vision. He drops the bomb. 5 HP, though, going to be the difference here. Surely not, right? Bomb plant coming in. Nade will maybe finish off the AWP. Not quite. They're both so low. Major's shadow spotted as well. He's not got a lot of ammo left in this A1S. Oh, this is going to be so awkward. And Major just gets the drop on him. 16 to 12. They will indeed secure that first map as cleanly, as easily, and as aggressively as you like. That T side was so well put together from Eternal Fire.
Yeah, it was a nice contrast, actually, with the CT, which was... I mean, it was a bit of a mess. It looks very hard to play that CT side, but... yeah, I mean, both pistols definitely helped, but credit where credit's due. Eternal Fire played good pistols. They didn't lose those anti-ecos, the 4 spies in the follow.